Hey there. I am joining you on this overcast, slightly dreary day to talk to you about what might be possible for you for grants. Um, this is something that I think a lot of beginning writers overlook and don't think, they can actually obtain. And that's not true. Um, I want to talk to you a little bit about eligibility, about what grants are out there, so that you can perhaps get funding to come on one of our Wild Ground retreats, or even do your own research for a manuscript you're working on, or some other professional development opportunity that comes your way. All right, so the first thing I want to show you, since I'm in Manitoba, and many of you probably are as well, is what the Manitoba Arts Council defines as a professional artist. And I think you might be surprised by how you can fit into that category. So I'm going to share my screen. So a professional artist, according to the Manitoba Arts Council, is basically someone who is working on their craft and has some evidence to show that they are doing that. In this case, we're talking about literary arts. So it's, that you're recognized as someone who is writing, who is a writer. Um, and it can be at least three of these following 5 points here. So have specialized training in the artistic field. And that's not necessarily having an MFA. That could be you've taken 3 workshops through McNally. Or you demonstrate that you have a commitment, right? You go to readings, you have a subscription to Prairie Fire, you enter contests, things like that. Um, and I want to show you this in particular under the emerging artists category, because some people think, oh, I can't do this unless I, have a book out already, or I've published 12 poems in 12 different literary journals. But that's not true. Look at this. Emerging artist has a minimum of 1 professional presentation or publication. So maybe you've had a poem published and you did a reading. That would be enough. That would be enough if you're also can show that you have 3 of these. So you've gone to some classes, you've been paid. So really there is flexibility, and you don't need to be as established as you think you might have to be. If you have any doubts, the Manitoba Arts Council is incredibly welcoming and open to getting inquiries from artists wondering if they apply. So I highly, highly encourage you to ask that question if you aren't sure. If you are somewhere else, if you're in Ontario, check out their criteria, the Ontario Arts Council, or any other provincial governing body, the Saskatchewan Arts Council. Most arts councils have similar requirements. If you are in the city of Winnipeg, or you're in the city of Toronto, or another large city that has its own independent granting body, you can also look at that. So the Winnipeg Arts Council, the Toronto Arts Council, look at those to see if they might have grants that you can apply for. The Manitoba Arts Council has a rolling professional development grant of $1,000. You can apply every couple of months. So that's something you might want to look into. One of the things that you'll want to do as well is sign up for the portal at whatever granting agency you're looking at. So the Manitoba Arts Council has a portal that you need to be approved to be in. And once you're in, you can do applications through there. But it takes a little while to get in because they have to assess you first. So definitely do that in advance of a deadline. Give yourself enough time so that you can be ready to kind of hit the ground when you're wanting to write that application. So these are just a few of the grant opportunities that you might want to explore. Once you get a bit more established, you can also look at Canada Council for the Arts, which has both project development grants and travel grants. There is also the Access Copyright Foundation, which has research grants and professional development grants. But I think with those, you have to have about 8 publications to your name and or a book. But I encourage you to keep Canada Council and Access Copyright in mind for the future. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and it's given you some information that you might not have had about grants that are available and grant writing. If you have any other questions, either about grants or about the retreats that we offer through Wild Ground Writing, please visit our website, wildgroundwriting.com, or shoot me a note at lauren@wildgroundwriting.com. And if you have any ideas or suggestions for future videos in this Let's Talk series, which covers tips, tricks, techniques for the writing life, please also drop me a line or leave a note in the comments below. Happy writing!